Hello BookTube. For this Tag Tuesday, I will be doing the Muppet Book Tag. This tag was created by Gareth of Book Songs and Other Magic, and I was tagged by Pat of Book Chat with Pat. I will leave links to both channels in the show notes down below. So before I start on the prompts, a little bit about my history with the Muppets. I first encountered the Muppets through a cartoon called Muppet Babies, where the major Muppet characters, Kermit, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, were infants or toddlers in the care of, I'm not entirely sure who their caregiver's name was. And they went on all sorts of adventures. I also, at some point in the early 90s, became aware of The Muppet Show, which was a variety show from, I guess, the 70s that featured the Muppet characters. And of course, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Muppets originated on Sesame Street, the storied children's program that Jim Henson worked on when it first started, although he left, and while some of the Muppets still remain on Sesame Street, others have been utilized elsewhere. And of course, also in the 80s and early 90s, there was a series of Muppet movies, most notably A Muppet Christmas Carol. Since the early mid-90s, I've largely fallen off with the Muppets. I think there was a second Muppet Babies series sometime in the 2010s, and I think there was an attempt to revive the Muppets variety show also sometime in the 2010s, but I didn't watch either one of them. So now on to the prompts. Prompt number 1, Kermit. Name a book with a great leader. For this, I'm going to go with a work of history and name King of the World by Philip Mansell. It is a biography of Louis XIV of France, who was one of the most influential kings of his era, and he was a king of global importance. Prompt number 2, Fozzie Bear. Name a book that makes you laugh. For this, I'm going to go with Sakamoto Days by Yuto Suzuki. It's about a retired hitman named Taro Sakamoto who has gone on to open a convenience store and is hilariously drawn back into the assassination business when a hit is put out on him. He and his companions, friends, they're all hilariously kooky, and it is a trip. Prompt number 3, Animal. Name a book that is unpredictable. For this prompt, I'm having a bit of a hard time with this. So I don't know necessarily if this would be a cop-out or not, but I guess I will go with Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf by Edward Albee. It is a play about two couples, one older, one younger, who the older couple has an immediately noticeable toxic relationship. And it's hard to predict exactly what's true and what's not true when it relates to those two. And also, what revelations are being made about the younger couple during this little get-together that they have over the course of the play. I read Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf on Saturday, and I will talk more about the play this coming weekly reads. Prompt number 4, Statler and Waldorf. Name a book that had to win you over. For this prompt, I'm going to go back to history with Iran, A Modern History by Abbas Amanat. So, Iran, A Modern History is a history of Iran from the 15th or 16th century, when the Salafid dynasty reunified Iran to, Safavid dynasty reunified Iran to the Islamic Republic. The introduction is fatal. When I first tried to read that book, I could not make it past the introduction. But once I did, hoo boy, is the actual meat of the book really good. But I had to be won over after that introduction. It is pretty bad. Prompt number 5. Ernie. Name a character that is innocent or naive or both. For this, I'm going to go with Wendy Marvell from Fairy Tale. Prompt number 6. Gonzo the Great. Name a book that defies simple genre definitions. This prompt also gave me some issue, but I think I'm going to go with All That She Carried by Tia Miles. It is a work of history that traces the progression, the movement of a knapsack that slave mother gave to her daughter on the daughter's move to a different location. And Tia Miles sort of follows the history of this sack from this family through the generations and on through to various sales until it eventually wound up in a plantation museum. The book also includes recipes as well as some literary criticism of Beloved and I think Palmares or another book that I'm blanking on what its title is. Prompt number 7. Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Name a book with a great concept. For this, I'm going to go with My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. It is a take on superheroes, but it's about a young man who aspires to be a superhero who has no superpowers of his own, and how he has to learn how to adapt to suddenly being given superpowers. Prompt number 8, Dr. Teeth. Name a character that lights up the scene and makes you smile. This prompt is also giving me some trouble. And whoever I was thinking of giving for this prompt has slipped my mind, so I'm going to pass it. Prompt number 9, Rolf the dog. Name a character that's laid back and copes with the chaos around them. For this prompt, I think I might go with Mutsumi from Mission Yosakura Family. Her siblings are all insane, and she basically just rolls with the punches. Prompt number 10, The Muppets. Name a book with a great found family. So I read a lot of manga, Japanese comics, and very often the core cast are come together and create a found family that is very often far stronger than the individual families that these characters came from. But I do want to specifically shout out the Straw Hats from One Piece, the Sakamoto's extended family and friendship group from Sakamoto Days, the crew from Dan to Dan, and there's someone else. Oh yeah, Fairy Tale by Hiro Mishima. The whole guild is basically one large Found Family, and many others. And I just remembered who I wanted to do for Rolf the Dog prompt. Yami from Black Clover. He also has to deal with a lot of looniness, and he just basically rolls with the punches, largely while using the bathroom. And finally, prompt number 11, tag others. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. And new BookTube, thank you. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.